is Weather Impact Live. And, we're still tracking the wildfires here around the First Coast. Multiple wildfires still ongoing. Also, today, though, we had a very rather severe weather outbreak across the Midwest through the Central Plains. Multiple tornadoes reported out there, damaging tornadoes. We got some absolutely incredible footage out of that area. And we're going to take a look at the extended forecast as well as maybe wrap up our show here this Friday with some lighter stuff. But I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. As always, thanks for stopping by and following along with us here at First Coast News. Of course, here at Weather Impact Live, we talk about our local forecast. But in this episode, we also talk about what's happening here around the world and specifically today around the country. So first off, let's talk about our ongoing wildfires, which is not only a local weather story, but even nationally. A lot of the national news outlets picking up on this too, because it's just so seriously impactful. At this time, 87 homes have been destroyed in Brantley County. That is nearly 100 homes burnt because of that ongoing fire out there. Now through Saturday, we still have this weather impact alert, but here's the thing. This is primarily because of wildfire risk, smoke, just poor air quality. But as we get a front that's going to move through the weekend, some of this will improve, but the fire conditions are still going to be there. Burn bans are still going to be in place, and the fires will still be ongoing. But hopefully conditions will get to a point where it does help out the firefighters more than kind of impacts them and in a negative way here. Today it's still dry though. It's still gonna be hot. Here's a look at some multiple fires that are still burning here across the First Coast. One of the bigger ones out here into Brantley County. This is the one that has burned over or nearly 90 homes at this time, over 5,500 acres. You can still kind of see it here on radar. You can get an idea of where the wind's blowing from east to west. They're just towards the east of Nehonta, just outside of Waynesville. And then we take a look at visible satellite imagery as the sun comes up. You still kind of see some of the smoke here. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just zoom right in on some of these areas because it's pretty clear actually to see where two of these at least fires are burning. You have the one here just outside of Fargo. That's the Clinch County fire. You kind of see it. Actually, you know what? What I'll do is I'll put on my little pointer here. See a little smoke right in there. See it? Just between the arrows. And then if you look towards the northeast, here's the other one right in there. So you can see these fires from space and how they're kind of the smoke plumes coming off of them. And even out here north of Palatka, there is some smoke kind of very faintly visible there, which is good. It just means this fire is not as big as the ones further off there towards the north. And then we put it on a loop, and yeah, you can see as the sun comes up, just that kind of big smoke plume coming off of those two fires I just pointed off further towards the north. Also gives you a good idea of just the general wind direction here on our Friday morning, which is also decreasing air quality. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But just touching on it across the First Coast, because of that southwesterly breeze, the fire out there in Clay County, the winds kind of carrying that smoke further towards north. So Duval County, unhealthy conditions on our Friday morning, just because of that increase in the particles out there in the atmosphere. But let's go for a walk around the First Coast, talk about a few of these fires. First off, in Brantley County, Highway 82 fire, over 5,500 acres have burnt now. That's the latest updated number on this. 15% contained at this time, but I can't stress enough. We talk about the numbers, we talk about the amount of buildings burnt, the amount of people impacted, but that is just, the numbers, the statistics. And I really want to share with you the human impact of these events. So we have our Christina Burgess. She's been out there in Brantley County talking to people about the fire weather conditions and how these are impacting people, and then with that fire out there, and a pretty dramatic discussion with one family whose home burnt down. So I'm going to hand it over to her.
Just seeing that I have nothing, it's, I don't know, it just crushed me. In the blink of an eye, the Dudek family lost everything when the Highway 82 wildfire made its way to their Waynesville home Tuesday morning.
And as soon as I walked out the door, my dad was right there and said, "You need to call 911." I looked at the back side of our property and it was already on fire.
Dennis and Anna grabbed their 4 kids, dogs, and fled to safety.
As I drove away, I continued to look at the Ring camera because I wanted to kind of, I don't know, see my house and make sure everything was okay. And I just kept seeing, I have screenshots of just watching the smoke just get more and more and more until I couldn't see anymore. And then I see my top camera went out after I couldn't see, and I knew that it was gone. And then I looked at my front door camera and I seen right in front of me. I watched the burning go on until I couldn't watch no more.
According to officials, as of Thursday, the wildfire spread more than 5,000 acres, destroying almost 90 homes. Pastor Daryl Shedd at Nahunta First Baptist Church wanted to help, so he opened his church doors.
We made some posts and put it out there, and it wasn't no time. People started showing up.
Wanda Bennett, seeking refuge at the church, fled her home as flames closed in around it.
When we saw the fire hit the area behind us, my daughter came over and said, "We got to leave." And we had to drive down 110 through the fire. So I had fire on both sides of the truck, and it's the most scared I've ever been.
But even in this time of loss and uncertainty, these Brantley County residents all say they're leaning on what they haven't lost.
You can't take this stuff with you. Each other is what we need to hold on to.
There's just been open arms, and there haven't been any closed doors.
We're going to be okay. We have each other, and that's what home is.
Fairly incredible video there, and thank you very much, Christina, for sharing their story there. Those people that were impacted by this, but also the support and the help. This is small town South Georgia, and it's really interesting to just see the community come out and help each other during this ongoing disaster out here in Southeast Georgia, there in Brantley County. And it's not the only fire, of course, going on. Other places we still have large wildfires. The one out there in Putnam County, the Pace Fire, has been burning since January. That's really a testament to just how long these conditions have been setting up for these fires to just really pop off. That one, we've been in this drought for so long, very dry conditions, and that fire is continuing to burn. At least it's 85% contained. Excuse me. But also the railroad and cruise fire out there in Clay and Putnam County, 65% contained. That's up from 60 just earlier today, but now 4,400 acres have burnt. In fact, we have some new video out of that area with that fire, and just kind of shows you, at least it's out in a kind of a swampy area. So we're not seeing homes burnt in this one, but it unfortunately, due to the fact that it is kind of set back away from the roads where some of these fires are at, it's harder for crews to get in there. And at some point, they're just like, hey, we're going to have to let this one burn out. It's going to have to go to our fire lines and slowly get to that point, which could take, considering we're not seeing much rain in the forecast, could take weeks to maybe even months based on what they're saying out here. So this fire is still ongoing. And the thing is with this one, a couple days ago, was really putting out a lot of smoke. Smoke has dialed back a little bit. It's more or less kind of the steady burn that's taking place there. And the big thing with that is it may not be burning any homes or anything like that, which is great, but it is still putting out enough smoke for neighbors in that area that they're getting that significant decrease in the air quality. And we actually had a discussion or an interview with somebody yesterday that we shared on our stream. That was saying, they were having hard breathing issues. They had to leave their windows shut and kind of circulate the air throughout the house there just to kind of keep the breathing conditions up. So point is, this is an ongoing fire as well. Now let's come back to our graphics, because this is not the only one. Of course, we have other fires around the First Coast. We look off towards the west. That is Clinch County. Over 30,000 acres have burnt in the Pineland Road fire. 10% only contained at this time. We actually had some evacuations with homes being threatened there as well. So That fire is still ongoing. That's definitely the largest out of all the fires in the area, and still a very significant impact. And everything you see in blue here, by the way, that is smoke that's being put out by this multitude of wild. And you can see further towards the south, there's some kind of blue there. That's because we have other fires down near Gainesville that's putting out smoke, and that's all getting shifted off towards the north and east. Here in Alachua County, you have one fire over 100 acres, the other one over 300 acres. These are more contained, but point is, all this smoke coming out of them really decreasing the air quality across the First Coast. And you can see that here with that southwesterly breeze. Now, as we go through Friday afternoon, there is going to be a slight little sea breeze that could kind of push this further inland. But see through Saturday, southerly wind continues to set up. Now, the winds could start to shift more out of the southwest. That's going to decrease air quality for places like Jacksonville due to the fires towards the south and west. And then by Sunday, the winds kind of shift again, and this could actually improve the air quality. So it goes up and down. It really depends on which way the wind is blowing at the time. And really across the First Coast, the key thing is, there are spots where it's decent, but for the most part, we have moderate to unhealthy air quality in this area. And due to the winds coming in from the south towards the north, you look out towards Atlanta, there's actually spots where it's unhealthy to very unhealthy north of our area. And the reason for that is just because that's the way the wind is blowing from south to north at this time. So if you go down to Central Florida, you see how the air quality is a lot better out in that area, primarily because of which way the wind is blowing. If the wind switched in from the north, these areas down towards the south would start to see those yellows, reds, and the kind of the purple hues on a few of these dots here. So it goes in and out, and you really just got to kind of keep updated with it. Key thing right now, though, is if you do step outside, you probably smell of that smoke, at least in the air. Now, the other part of this is prevention of the forest fires, because we have all these fires. First responders, emergency officials are out there. They are doing incredible work. But I can't reiterate enough, me, you, anybody else, that the additional fires are still very much possible. There are burn bans in place, and for good reason, because any fire that starts is going to spread really quickly. And also, fires are so easy to start right now. We have dry conditions. We have a lot of dead vegetation. And then you get a little bit of a breeze. Disposing of your cigarette butts, I don't know. This, I didn't make this graphic, but I do use it. And that first statement kind of annoys me because I'm not, and not in the sense that I want to throw cigarettes and buttons around. It's a sense that you should already know this. You shouldn't litter. You should know. Like, don't be a messy person. But more so now, just because of the fire weather element to it. Just don't, because that fire can spread quickly. Just be a good person. That's one of the big things with that. No open burning, though, and heed all the warnings. And when I say open burnings, those bonfires, burning trash, goodness gracious, don't be the person burning trash today. Just don't. Fireworks as well need to be canned immediately. Don't even think about it. I know we got Memorial Day, and well, it's a little ways off, but what's the next big holiday? Mother's Day or May Day, or Cinco de Mayo, coming up here pretty soon. Hey, if you want to, I don't know who shoots off fireworks for Mother's Day, but don't do it, okay? And also keep your vehicles off of dry grass. That's another thing just to keep in mind here, because this fire weather danger is so high. All you need is a hot engine over some dry grass, and that can start a fire pretty quickly. It's so dry, exceptional drought in place here across the First Coast, and definitely some serious and ongoing impacts here. So with that said, we're talking about the drought and the heat in the southeast. We're going to switch gears just a little bit, and then we'll come back to our extended forecast for the southeast, because I want to look at the broader picture here, because you see, look at all this cold air in the northwest. It's nice and hot in the southeast, cold air in the northwest. Meteorology 101, cold versus warm equals a battle line, and that battle line creates that threat of severe weather. And this is exactly what we've been seeing out here. Look, actually, we got storms right now moving into Arkansas, parts of Missouri, over towards Illinois. And the last few days, we've been seeing some absolute nasty weather across some of these areas. In fact, I'll show you some video out of Oklahoma of a tornado. This is actual footage of the tornado that was shared with us here, and pretty incredible stuff here because it just shows that this is an Oklahoma Chance Jones sent it in. Just the tight funnel right there. This one caused some damage out across this area, just rolling through Oklahoma. In fact, let me just pull up some of the information out of Oklahoma with this one, because we did get some damage reports out of that area too. From Vance Air Force Base right near that in Garfield. This was at about 8:11 p.m. at night. Here Central Time, they got that when that pushed on through. So yeah, it is serious stuff and pretty incredible images right there. Imagine just stepping outside and you see that in your backyard. What are you gonna do? I think one of the big things is, and just from somebody who has studied this their whole life, is if you ever do go outside and you see this and you see it doesn't look like the tornado's moving, but maybe it's getting bigger, that's when you gotta worry. If it's moving left or right, that's actually good news. It means it's moving kind of away from you. But like I said, so this one looks like it's progressing from behind one home to behind the next home. So left to right, this person's in a relatively safe area. But when it's coming right at you and it doesn't seem like it's moving, that's one of the big worries here. Then now let's take a look at some of the damage from this specific series of tornadoes out here in Oklahoma, because of serious damage. Now, this was the tornado video was taken at about 8 o'clock. This is just a few hours, probably minutes later, after the sun went down, and yeah, you can still see lightning around there in the distance, but this is just serious damage at some of the homes there. Absolutely level type. That looks like an apocalyptic type setup there. Serious damage. Now, from what I've seen, no injuries reported at this time from the information I've received, which would be an absolute miracle with this. Hopefully warnings were put out well ahead of time, ahead of the specific setup. But yeah, it absolutely wild footage right there from tornado tacklers, tornado chasing group there. Let's come back to our graphics, and also want to show you, we're looking at tornado reports, but now I'm going to overlay hail reports on top of that. And so this is a clear indicator of, some severe weather, and some of these hail reports pretty dramatic. I mean, look at that 1 inch, 1.3 inches. We had some fairly large hail reported across parts of Oklahoma. Look at that, nearly 2 inches. That's golf ball size. And we actually have video out of Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, taking place. That's that golf ball size stuff that we're talking about. The stuff that hits the ground, it's bouncing back up. We often, tornadoes get the kind of headline coverage with some of these, but oof, that is the type of stuff that causes damage and injures crops. It can cause damage to like your windshields if you end up driving into that. And first and foremost, if you have animals, pets outside, and of course that can cause some serious issues. Now, here, a lot of you are watching, of course, from the First Coast here in Jacksonville. We don't get this too often, and one of the main reasons it's a little too warm in the upper atmosphere, not near the surface, but upper atmosphere. Our freezing level is a little bit higher compared to like Nebraska and Oklahoma, where it's a little bit lower. So the storms may get quite as tall as they do here in Florida, but they also have a lower freezing level, which allows that hail to build up with the updrafts and the downdrafts. Tim Wagner sending that one into this incredible footage right here. Always remember, if you have any photos or videos that you would like to share with us at First Coast News as well, check out our search for our First Coast News Weather Watchers Facebook page. And if you ever send us anything interesting, of course, we'll try our best to get it on here, especially at least on the stream. All right, let's go back to our graphics, talk about our severe weather threat here, and then we'll talk about the extended outlook. And at least for now, here on our Fridays, severe weather threats still cross parts of Texas, Missouri, parts of Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, over towards Louisiana there. This is going to shift towards the east, and eventually on Saturday and the Sunday, that front is going to move across the First Coast, but it loses a lot of its energy. And if you see this right here, this is actually the next system it's going to set up behind this, near the dry line, that really is going to fire off more storms around Texas, Oklahoma, into Nebraska, with just the chance of rain and not so much storms closer to Jacksonville and the First Coast through Sunday and into Monday here. So let's go back to that and let's talk about that. And let's talk about the chances of any of this weather out here impacting our area and how it's going to be influencing us. So first off, let's kind of walk through this and discuss what's going on. So for today, we'll start off with our Friday here. You know, we got 86 degrees, mostly sunny skies, relatively warm out. But there is a few showers along the I-75 corridor that is possible there. Is it going to be enough to provide significant relief to the ongoing wildfires? Unfortunately, I don't really think so. But it will be enough to maybe, especially if it's on the I-75 corridor, it could bring some rainfall to places like Glitch County out towards the Suwannee Valley there. And even a little bit can go a long way. Is it going to put out the fires? Probably not. But could it help the firefighters who are working and just living and breathing this all in? Yes, definitely. A little bit of rain is going to be a welcomed sight. 86 degrees here on our Saturday, still heating up with some showers possible in the southeast Georgia, which is also interesting because across southeast Georgia, you know, you get a little bit of rain out there. That could be definitely welcomed here on our Saturday. And you can see that here on our Futurecast. A little bit of a sea breeze set up, so some afternoon precip about 5, 6 o'clock closer to Jacksonville. But then you see after sunset, got some stuff off towards the north, moves on by, and then we go ahead in the Sunday, and then we start to see our front approach, which should start to increase some rainfall, at least into Sunday morning on top of that. So some ups and downs with the dew point too. You can see that jumps up here by Sunday and the Monday, which also is going to help out with this overall just kind of fire weather situation here. So here's one more look actually at that front as it kind of dips in across the first coast, brings that chance of rainfall out here and kind of settles overhead. But the big problem too is also it's still dry. And yeah, I just got done saying that will increase the dew points, everything, but the atmosphere is still dry and the ground's still dry. So even if you get some rain overhead, it actually could dry it out. Like this is all an interconnected system here. So we really need a lot of moisture, not just kind of a weakening front, but a full on just blob of moisture, hopefully coming in out of the Gulf. That would be the best remedy for this whole fire weather situation. But once again, here's a look at our extended outlook here for your Friday heading into Saturday. We start to dry out again by Monday, though, and then temperatures staying into the lower to mid 80s, up to 91 there for our Friday forecast. You know, a lot of severe stuff in our forecast today. A lot of stuff to talk about here. I'll try to stay positive, though, outside of the poor air quality, at least the weather is somewhat decent in Jacksonville. I mean, if you have outdoor plans, you should be just fine throughout this upcoming weekend just because of that high pressure still in play. For example, if you want to go out and do a sandcastle contest, that's going to be out near Jacksonville Pier, the beach pier, from 12 to 2 o'clock on Saturday. Weather's looking decent for that. Smoke should be blowing inland, so you're not worried too much about the haze with that either. But also, you know, just on a lighter note, I want to show you this video coming out of Southern California, and I'll kind of wrap up this episode of Weather Impact Live with this because there was this bear. It's popping out of the sewer grate. Hello. You imagine? Now he looks like he's being tracked. He does have a little tag on him, I think. But you imagine just sitting in your front yard and a little baby cub comes popping out of the sewer grate. It's like, hello, I'm here. How you doing? My worry would be, where's mom? You know, is mom down in the sewer too? Is she looking for seeing a baby cub? They're cute. You stay away from those guys because mama probably. Ooh, no, I haven't seen this part. That's mom right there. Mom's looking right at you too, looking right at the camera like, oh, she's hiding up there. Mom was looking right at the camera like, yeah. There you are. You are playing in the sewer, and I've been looking all over town for you. Reminds me of me when I was a kid. Just wait until the sun goes down, the first street lights come on, and mom yells out the window, "Where are you at?" That's what I like to imagine is happening in a bear world over here. That's a great shot. Great wrap up to today's show. We still got a few more minutes though, so we'll go back and just recap these fires one more time, kind of the latest information on it. But I just wanted to share that with you. I saw it; it came through our feed. I'm like, you know what? We got too much happening around the First Coast today. We need some better news when we go out to Southern California. A little bear news going. I don't know if it's better news. I think that would freak me out a little bit if I saw that outside of my yard. But I guess there always could be worse things. All right, so yeah, we still got about 3 more minutes here with you. And just want to recap our wildfires still ongoing. And just a big shout out to everybody who has been sharing information, those first responders and emergency officials. And speaking of animals, all the animals that are being impacted, I know that we've been hearing reports of that, but also even our pets. And there's been hotels that are bringing in, families and evacuating from these fires who are also accepting pets as well. And a big shout out to all of them too. But the Brantley fire is still 5,500 acres. With this one, it is still 15% contained. Nearly 90 homes have been burnt at this time. That is unfortunately up from yesterday. We were talking about 50. The fire continuing to expand towards the north, across Highway 82, and now nearing Highway 32, which has also been closed at this time. So still a very serious ongoing situation with that. And then the other fire is actually in Putnam County, the Pace Fire, which, as mentioned, it's smaller. It's been ongoing, but a lot of smoke coming out of that fire in Putnam County. This morning, even some roads just west of Interlochen were closed because of that, the smoke from that. Not the fire itself, but the smoke reducing visibility. And you might think, okay, well, people can handle that. Reality is, that causes issues. Even this morning, here on Friday morning, we had accidents in Brantley County on Highway 82 where some of that heavy smoke was, because people were just going too fast in those. If you've never drove in like heavy smoke, it's like driving in the foggiest of the foggiest days. It really is not pleasant whatsoever. And then we look over towards the west, of course, the Clinch Fire, still ongoing, over 30,000 acres burnt with that. And, we got so much information with this. We got First Coast News at noon, 5, 6, 7, and 11, as well as our weather impact live at 4:30 today. Keeping you posted. We may have another briefing from the Brantley County officials. We've had it the last few days as well around that time. So there's lots of ways to get into weather information, and we want to make sure you are staying informed, staying updated here at First Coast News, especially for everybody impacted by these ongoing wildfires, and help you plan out your weekend as well. Of course, I am meteorologist Robert Spett. I always appreciate you stopping by, and thank you so much for watching. Number one thing, of course, as always, is stay safe out there, friends, and I hope you have a good weekend.